trumpet. Now, some of the stuff's going to be a little out of range here, but when we get to that, we'll get to that. So now we're going to voice it out. So my first chord's an F7, and so I do my bass trombone first. And the bass trombone, I got yelled at a long time ago for writing too high for the bass trombone. And there's some reasons why you do it, but mostly it's better that you don't, because the bass trombone is built to play these low notes. And so I'm try to give the bass trombone the roots. And so it's kind of interesting trying to come up with different lines for him to play, him or her. And so I'm going to try and create a bass trombone line using chromatics and whatever that'll make this a little more interesting. Here's one. I'll do something real simple here where I'm not going to do. Let's see here. Here would be like if the bass trombone was playing this rhythm. These are all low Fs. I'm using F7. Bass trombone's going to look at the roots of the chords, and the bass trombone's going to have those. So I'll do F, and then I'll do F, and then I need to create a little bit of movement here. So what I might do is do a little chromatic invention here where I'll go G flat. I notice there's a C here, which is the flat fifth of G flat. And of course, if you say flat fifth to jazz players, they go, oh, that's really good. So that gives me a little chromatic movement, and then I'm going to go F here. And now our chord changes is B flat, so I'm going to go B flat, and then notice that this goes chromatically up to this A flat. That's the seventh of B flat 7. So I'm going to move this like a guitar would and go A up to B flat. So it's like kind of a bar chord. And then the next chord here is F7. I have a little anticipation of this G sharp going into the A, so I'm going to voice this here, this first one out as F, and since this is a half-step chromatic anticipation, I'm going to do that. And then I see that I have a chromatic B flat to B to C. So what I'll do is I'll voice this out as an F chord. So I'm going to go chromatically where this will go E flat, and then E, and then F. So I've moved up chromatically like the melody line did, except utilizing the roots. And then this goes chromatically G sharp A. Well, A's in F chord, so I'm going to go chromatically E, A, and then I'll do another F, no big deal. Then I'm going to go, this goes chromatically B, B flat, and that's a B flat chord. So what I'll do is I'll play a B natural down here, and then I'll put a B flat here, and then, so that's a nice representation here. And then I've got this movement here goes, we're still staying on the B flat chord, so I could do 2 B flats, or I could get really creative and go B, and this is the 13th of B, this A flat, and so I'll go a little chromatic movement like that. And so for my bass trombone, I'll put a little fall off on here. Ding. And then everybody has a rest. So just copying my rest over here. And then this is an F7. Well, this I've got let me see if I turn on my piano here. So this is the augmented 9 of F7. It's a real bluesy note. So by the way, let me play the chords. So we got ba da da da. And then we're here. So this is going to be still an F chord, like that. And I think I've had so much voiced out. This is all going to be voiced out. This would be a nice thing to do unison, because it's a nice little line here. So this is going to be unison. Obviously that's way too high, so I'm going to bring it down like that. And then the bass trombone's going to have a little rest here, like that. And so I've got a chromatic movement down into this G. Well, this is G7, so I'll go chromatically A flat in the bass clef here, down to G. And I'm going to do this, I'll do another G here, and then I just get a little thing here. I think I'm going to do a little chromatic movement. I'll go 2 Gs, and then I'll do maybe a half step. I like that half step thing higher, where I go A flat, G. This is the 13th of A flat, so that's going to work fine. And then this is an anticipation of the C chord, so I'm going to go, actually what I might do is, since this goes chromatically down, I'm going to go da-da-da-da, and then I'll go D flat, which is a half step higher than C, and then I go C. And then here's another lick that would sound nice unison. You know, it's kind of got a little mind of its own. So I'm going to take that lick and move that down there, and then have here, I have a little turnaround. This is the turnaround section, so I have D, and then this is an anticipation of D7. This is an anticipation of G, so this is going to be a G chord in bass clef. This is going to be an anticipation of C, and this last one I already mentioned is an anticipation of an F chord with a fall off like that. So what I've done now is create my bass trombone line, and so this basically represents all the things that go on represents the roots of all the chords that are here. So I've got my first trumpet, I have my fourth trumpet because I doubled it down an octave, that's kind of my usual routine, and now I have my bass trombone. And so this gives me the starting point so I can start voicing things out, and I'll do that on another video. But this is a great start to, got my line, got my cool line here, and I may have to edit this, you never know. I've done it enough so I kind of know how it's going to sound, and we'll start adding dynamics and articulations in another one. Okay? Hope you enjoyed this. I did.